Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is your instructor for Purposive Communication. My name is Galea Rama, and for today we are going to discuss about Module 1 on which is the nature of language. So in this case class, I won't really explain everything that's on the module, but I'll just direct you on which part to answer and which part you should read. But before that, I'd like to apologize first for a bit of background noise due to the electric fan, because it's a little bit humid here in the office without it, so just bear with me. Alright, so let's start then with lesson 1, which is the nature of language. So in this part, you are going to read the objectives, like at the end of this lesson, like what do you think, or what the lesson wants you to learn at the end of it. So next we have the introduction. So welcome to lesson 1. This lesson introduces you to the nature of language. In this lesson, you are expected to apply the basic concepts of language given the specific linguistic scenarios and value the characteristics of your own language. This lesson will also help you in understanding your language. Enjoy this lesson and keep reading. So on this part of the activity room, you're not going to answer this. So we have here the linguistic scenarios, so you're not also going to answer this. All you have to do is that you're going to read it and then you're going to analyze it. So we have a lot of scenarios here. I think there are 15. So you're just going to read all of them. I mean, they're very short, just one sentence per number. Alright, as for the analysis, we have here how many questions again? We have 15. So in this case, you're still going to answer here. I mean, you could just put minimum of 3 sentences and like a maximum of 5. Don't put anything, like flowery words. Just go directly to the point. So what do you think distinguishes animal communication from human language? Just write your answer, like a minimum of 3, maximum of 5. I mean, that's all. Like, yes, that is it. Next, for the abstraction, so in this case, you're not going to answer this one, of course. You're just going to read. So it's sort of like, what the content of lesson 1 is. I think this abstraction explains the scenario like we had before, or the linguistic scenarios. So basahon lang ni siya, class, dili na siya ansiran ang abstraction. And next is the application. In this case, you are going to answer this. So pwede rin niyo siya isulat on a different sheet of paper, and then you are going to take a picture of it, and then you're going to send it to me, either on my Gmail or just private message on Messenger. So ansiran gyapon ni siya. The students will be provided with a matrix to fill in C, Appendix B. The students are expected to complete the matrix through the analysis and abstraction of the concepts of the nature of language vis-a-vis specific linguistic scenarios. Pardon, it's actually vis-a-vis specific linguistic scenarios. This application of the nature of language will comprise part of the midterm grade. The students will be rated using the rubrics. So that's it. Next, on Appendix A, module on the nature of language. In this case, class, basahon lang ni, dili ni siya ansiran. And then, so we have here the definition of a lexicon, the morphology, the syntax, semantics, denotation, connotation, so on. So dili na siya ansiran. So now we are going to proceed with Appendix B. So this is what the application, I think. So in this case, you're going to please fill in the following matrix on the nature of language. So in this case, class, ansira na gyapon ninyo siya. Tagay lang ko ninyo one sentence. Is it true for you or is it false? Reason, one sentence only. Not more than 25 words. Ayaw lang kayo ninyo daghana. Kay, para dili pud burden sa inyong part. So, nganong true siya? Why do you believe this statement is true? Why do you believe this statement is false? Again, one sentence lang. Next, Appendix C, dinin ni siya ansiran. This is like the rubrics. So this is how you're going to be graded according to, your answers on Appendix B. Di na siya ansiran again. Next, we are going to proceed with Lesson 2. So on Lesson 2, registers of spoken written language, in this case, class, the activity room, introduction, you're just going to read. For the activity room, you are taking a stroll through the through the mall when someone approaches you. It is one of the persons described in the photos below. So your teacher, your friends. So in this case, class, alright then. In this case, class, I think you're just going to, what do you call this, like choose one person. So in this part, this story, mili ra mong isa, I think. And then you are going to imagine what this person will say to you. So say for instance, like you met your teacher. So in that case, you're going to imagine like what would your teacher say to you, or how are you going to respond. So just choose one, and then again on this part, you're just going to write a minimum of 3 sentences and a maximum of 5. So you don't have to add more para dili pud burdens in your part. Go straight to the point. No more flowery words, just say it as it is. And then how will you talk to the person? So 5 sentences maximum, minimum of 3. Next is the analysis. So it's also the same thing. This is like basing on your own understanding or observations. So why do we speak differently to different kinds of people? So just like, like in the older generation and younger generation, like edad na to, so anong different man natong approach or the language that we use. So syempre pag older generation, magamit man jud tag mga po and opo, like really respectful words, but sa mga kaedad na to, I think it's okay. So again, in this part, you're just going to write a minimum of 3 sentences and a maximum of 5. Next is the abstraction. When it comes to abstraction, you don't really have to answer it. You're just going to read the sentences. Alright. Language register are classified as, you're just going to read that part. Next is the application. So in this case, although it says like you have to do like a sound recording or a video recording, you don't really have to do this. All you gotta do is that you're going to write it on a different sheet of paper as well. Then you're going to take a picture of it, or you could either put it on MS Word, and then you're going to send it to me by email, or by sending me a private message on Messenger. So on this part, you're going to answer the application, and on this part, as a DSSC student, how will the registers of spoken written language be applied to your course, family, friends, and society? Again, in this case, it doesn't have to be long, like it's a minimum of 3 sentences and a maximum of 5. No worries with me. Next, we are going to have Lesson 3, Principles, Processes, and Ethics in Communication. So in this case, we have here the objectives, the introduction, and as for the activity room, we have 4 picks, 1 word. In this case, you're just going to answer this. So what do you think this 4 pictures, is pointing out? It's just 1 word. You're going to answer that. This one is the analysis. So in this case, again, a minimum of 3 sentences and a maximum of 5. So you're still going to answer this. As for the abstraction, nope, you don't have to. You're just going to read all of this. Oh, especially this one, the communication process. This is like very important. So you should familiarize yourself with it. Next is general principles of effective communication. You're just going to read that part. And also principles of effective oral communication. You're just going to read this part as well. And ethics in communication, just going to read it. We have here completeness, concreteness, courtesy, correctness, clarity, consideration, conciseness. You're just going to read that. And this one, for the activity, you're going to answer this one. So we have here the comic. So I'll make a reflective essay about the illustration above. You can write your reflective essay in the box provided below. So in this case, we have here the box, so you can just put your answer here. In this case, it's just a maximum of five sentences as well, and yeah, minimum of 3. But if you want to make it longer, like, go ahead. I would be glad to accept that too. So this is just basing on the understanding of the comic. Next is the rubrics for reflective essay. This is like how we are going to grade you basing on your answer and also the rubric. So you don't have to answer this one. This is just for basics. Next is, I think that'll be all. I know, we still have lesson 5. So as you have noticed, we have skipped lesson 4. There's no lesson 4. So on lesson 5, communication aids and strategies using tools of technology. So we have objectives here again, introduction, activity room. So in this case, you're still going to answer this one. Try to remember an instance when you did a class reporting. List down all the media you used. I think this is very understandable and very easy. So in this case, you just you could just write like one sentence here. It's okay, no problem. Next is the analysis. Again, on this part, we have a maximum of 5 and a minimum of 3 sentences. For the abstraction, you're just going to read this part. And for the application on this part, you are going to answer this. So our country is battling against the threats of COVID-19. What are your insights about the actions taken by the government to fight COVID-19? How effective it is, and how effective is it? Express your thoughts in a 2-minute sound recording or video recording. In this case, you don't have to record your video. You're just going to write it down on a piece of paper, or if you want, you can use MS Word. Again, in this case, like for every question, it's like a minimum of 3 and also like a maximum of 5. But if you want to add more, I'd be glad to accept it. So I think that'll be all. So congratulations. So you have successfully completed the activities and tasks of lesson 5. This is the final lesson of your module 1. So I think that'll be all. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next module. Have a great day.